I'd like to get right to it. So the week that I am marking up is November 13th through the 16th of 2023. So let's get right into the market. So just starting off, the market is about to open. We want to go ahead and mark our previous high and our previous low. So our previous high is telling us that it is this one right here. And the reason for that being is because we have this wick connecting to this high and this wick connecting to this high. So we know that this is going to be our strongest high, and this is marked as our previous high. Our previous low is going to be right here, and as we see that the market is about to open, this low has already been broken with a confirmation candle. So what we're going to be doing is waiting for more structure to happen since the position has already happened. And so now that we have the market is open, we are waiting for more structure. Basically, we're waiting for a low to be created. And able to see a low, we need to see two candles going in the opposite direction. And so we have two candles in the opposite direction, and not necessarily in the opposite direction, but two candles above the previous low. So we have a green candle and we have a red candle, but the red candle is also above the previous low that happened. So this is now considered our previous low, and now we are waiting for some type of structure to be broken. So off the bat, I can see that we have this connecting wick telling us that this is now most likely our previous high, and this wick isn't really connecting here, so we can go ahead and bring this down, and we can go ahead and mark this now as our previous high. And now we have our first break in our session. So remember, we always look for the second breakout. So since this is the first break, we are not going to be trading this break, and now we are going to be deleting our low, and now we're going to be waiting for more structure to happen. So now we have more structure that is happening. We can go ahead and put our new low, which is going to be here. And we can always check to the left to make sure that there's nothing over here telling us that this connecting wick is going to something. And now we are waiting for structure to be broken, either to the low or to the high. So now we have structure being broken. It is a fair size candle. And if I go to my notes here, I have this as a screenshot to just keep into my notes to remind me of what candles I should be looking out for. So that looks like a just right candle that is breaking. So we are going to go ahead and enter in the market here. We're going to set our one-to-one position with this now being our new low here. Right. And now we are putting our stop loss below our previous low, and we are setting the trade to a one-to-one. Boom, just like that. I know that my lot size would be 1.88, and I know this is a one-to-one trade. I'm going to go ahead and see how that goes. And boom. So TP1 has just hit right now, and that only took about 15 minutes. So now what we're going to do is we're going to move this to a TP2, and we're going to move our stop loss to break even. And so we closed the first trade. We opened two trades. We closed the first trade with a TP1, and now the second trade has been moved to break even, and we're aiming for a TP2. And so there we go. That has cleared to a TP2, and if you held out because of the momentum, you most likely even got to a TP3. But I typically close at a TP2 and I call it a day. So today, Monday, was a TP2 trade, and now we're on to Tuesday. Remember, I always aim for a one-to-one first, and then always close the first trade with a one-to-one because we have to secure the 1% profit. and then the second trade is always going to be risk-free. So now we're going into Tuesday. Right, the market is about to open right now, so we can go ahead and delete everything off the screen. And now we are into Tuesday. We are marking our previous highs, and we are marking our previous lows, which would technically be this one. And the break is already happening right now, so we technically would need to wait for more structure as the market is now opening. So we have more structure that has happened. We have this as our low, right? And we also have a breaking candle, which is a decent sized candle. So we're going to put our position tool, stop loss below the previous low, and the trade always starting off to a 1-to-1. Let's see how this goes. And boom, there it goes. So nice. And so we can already tell that this has already went to a TP2. Yeah, so TP2 would be already right here. And so Tuesday would also be considered a TP2 day, because after TP2 I would be exiting out of the market. I'm happy with what the market has given me, and I'm moving on to the next day. So we're off to Wednesday. This one was pretty simple. It happened pretty quickly, right at 6:05. So we like trades like this because we are in and we're out of the market, in and out. So now we are on to Wednesday. The market is about to open. We can go ahead and delete everything off the screen. And we are marking our previous zones. So we have this is our previous high, right? Because we have this wick connecting to this high. So we know that this is our high, and we have a previous low, which is right here. And so now we are waiting for the market to open. The market is now open, and we also now have a new previous high, and now we are waiting for structure to be broken. And okay, so structure is now broken. So I like the way this candle looks. It's a decent sized candle break. So we are going for a short position, stop loss above the previous high, and the trade always to a 1-to-1. Boom, just like that. And then we'll see how this trade goes. Boom. So TP1 has been hit, and so now we are moving it down to a TP2. The first trade has been closed, the bag has been secured, and now we are moving the stop loss to break even. And so the trade has came back up and hit our break even. So today has just been a TP1 day. So the first trade closed profitable, and the second trade closed at $0. So today would be just considered a TP1 day for me. So now we are off to Thursday, and remember this is our last trading day because we do not trade on Fridays. So the market is getting ready to open. We are about to wake up. Here we go. And so we are woken up. So we are in the market to place our previous low. Here we go. And then our previous high. So we technically don't have a previous high yet. So we want to see some more movement to the downside. And there we go. So that's enough to tell us that this is our previous high. And then we also need to make sure for our connecting wicks that that is not connecting to anything previous. So it actually is connecting to this wick over here, and this wick is also telling us that this is actually going to be our previous high. And we can check back just to make sure that that's not connecting, so that's not connecting to anything. So we know that this is our previous high from this connecting wick, and from there it was this wick connecting to this wick. So we can go ahead and delete this. And now we have our two zones set up, and now we are waiting for the market to open or present another zone. So the market just presented a new zone right here, possible zone. We need one more candle to make this a previous low. And there it is. So now we can go ahead and move this up, and this is going to be our new previous low, and our previous high obviously stays the same until it's broken. So now the market is open, and now we can start beginning to look for our breakout and our entry. So I can already see here that we possibly have a previous low in the making. I would want to see some type of reaction first, just because it's like real small, but we can kind of consider that this is going to be our previous low. But just to be safe, we can keep this here for now. Keep an eye on this. Okay. And so we do have some type of rejection there, and okay, so we can go ahead and move this here because this is clearly going to be our previous low based off of this rejection happening here, and some movement happening off of this area right here. So we have this breaking candle breaking our zone. However, there is one exception to this trade, is that I do not trade one candle breakouts. So we have all this structure happening here, and then we have one strong green candle. And for me, that is a sign to just wait for more structure to happen, even though it is probably less than, let's see, yeah, so it is in my zone to be a just right candle. However, it's just one candle. So if this was broken in half and it stopped right here, and then it was another green candle that broke it, then I would have entered into that trade. But since this is just one candle, I'm not entering into this trade. I'm deleting this as my zone, and I'm waiting for more structure. So we've got some movement to the upside. So we're just waiting for some structure to happen. Okay, cool. So we have two candles coming down here, so I can go ahead and mark this as my previous high now. And then we have, if we have one more candle here, then we can go ahead and consider this a previous low. And then also this would technically be breaking this previous high. So it will be an entry, and our stop loss will technically need to be moved to this area. Only if there's another green candle, right? So we have a green candle, so we can go ahead and bring this up because this is going to be our previous low. And we also have a breaking candle of our previous high, so that also triggered our entry. So now we have our long position, and we have the stop loss a little bit below, right? And then we have the trade always aiming to a 1-to-1 to start. So I open two positions, and then the first one is always aiming to a 1-to-1, and then the second one will aim to a 1-to-2 or a break even. So we can go ahead and see how this plays out. Okay, and then boom. So take profit one has been hit, and so now I would close the first position, the first trade that's open, and I would set the second trade to a TP2 right there, boom, and then we'll move the stop loss to break even, and then we'll see how that goes. We just go ahead and play it out, and okay, so there you go. So it hit the break even, so today would have just been a 1-to-1 ratio day. The first trade closed at a TP1, and the second trade closed at $0. So we made for me, 1%. I made my 1% for the day. And then that will be the last of that because we do not trade on Fridays. So it was all wins this week, guys. Very simple. Like I said, I don't like to use indicators. Very simple. I just go simply off a breakout, and I always aim just for a 1-to-1 to a 1-to-2. And depending on momentum, if it pushes past the 1-to-2 to a 1-to-3, then that's great. But like I said, I typically only aim for a 1-to-2. I typically don't try to go past that. And I'm happy with what the market gives me. So this week was all wins, very successful week. I'm looking forward to next week, so be sure to subscribe so that way you guys can see next week markup. And I also post daily every morning after the trade completes in my shorts section. So thanks for watching, and I will see you guys in the next video. Thanks.